A week after mom gives birth to triplets, she reunites with her family, but then she leaves. This woman was welcomed by her family after successfully giving birth to triplets. However, what happened to her 10 days after her delivery left her family sad. On January 29, 2016, Casey Rod welcomed her lovely triplets Asher, Levi, and Piper into the world. This was an amazing moment for her and her family. At the time her babies were born, they were kept in the NICU. This was because even though they were healthy at birth, they were delivered prematurely through a cesarean section at 34 weeks and needed to be cared for. After some time, their mom was discharged and allowed to reunite with their family at home in Kansas. It was such a beautiful moment for her husband and her two older daughters, Chloe, 6, and Tenley, 2, who were so excited about her arrival back home. It happened that during the last 3 months of her pregnancy, she had to move in with her brother-in-law's family in Wichita, which meant she was far away from her family but close to her doctors. However, after her successful delivery and months of being away from her family, it was finally time for her to meet with her husband and her two older daughters, whom she missed very much. It was the first time in 3 months she was back. She said several times it was like she'd never left home. She was just dying to see them, Joey said. Unfortunately, what they never knew was that an awful situation that they never anticipated was about to happen. Just a few days after her successful delivery, the triplets' mom, who was back home, got up at 4 a.m. She got up with a sharp pain in her chest and noticed her heart was thumping really fast. She was in pain and had to be rushed down to the hospital with her husband. But what could be wrong? When they got there, she was diagnosed with a pulmonary embolism after a computed tomography scan revealed that she had a blood clot in her lungs. This medical situation was believed to be caused by the triplets' pregnancy and the cesarean section that was carried out. As this was never what the couple from Kansas expected, they were very worried. After spending a couple of days in hospital where she was treated and had to undergo additional tests, she was finally released from the hospital and allowed to go home. At this time, no extra blood clots were found by the doctors, and this came as a relief for them. Before heading home, the duo decided to check the neonatal intensive care unit where their lovely triplets were taken care of. After spending some time with them, they drove back to their farmhouse in Clay Center, Kansas to prepare the babies' nurseries. The couple was planning on returning to visit their triplets the following day, but things took a different turn. They had initially thought everything was okay because Cassie was feeling good after they'd visited the hospital. "We thought we had it behind us. She felt really good when she left," Joey said. However, that was not the case. The next day, the mother of 5 sadly passed away. But what went wrong with her? Well, after her treatment at the hospital, she was determined to put behind her the health scare she experienced and went on to do her daily chores. She was doing just fine. Her husband even admitted she was getting back into the rhythm. According to him, she was so eager to see her 2 girls who were in school. Joey went ahead to pick the older girls at school and then told them he had a beautiful surprise waiting for them at home. When the girls got home, they were so delighted to see their mom and they couldn't hold back their tears. He remembered that his wife was also crying when she saw her daughters because she'd missed them. However, she never knew that would be the last time she would ever be spending any time with her family. Just a few minutes after being reunited with her family, the sharp chest pain she thought had gone away came back. She decided to rest for a while to see if the pain would go away, but sadly it didn't. Cassie was in some discomfort and had to be rushed down to the hospital once again. Her husband immediately drove her down to the emergency room, but before they got there, she had already lost consciousness in the car. On getting to the hospital, all the efforts to revive her were unsuccessful, and she sadly gave up. It happened that the blood clots she had earlier came back, and this time it was very fatal. This was a very depressing moment for her husband. He couldn't believe what had happened to his wife. "I thought we had her all checked out. She was on the same medication she needed to be on," he said. You couldn't just imagine how shocked he was. Losing his wife didn't feel real for him, and it was by far the worst moment of his life. According to him, his emotions were numb at the point of his wife's death. He had already started making plans with her for their 3 babies' arrival back home before the unfortunate event happened. This made him feel so overwhelmed. About 4 months after his partner's demise, he was left with the responsibility of taking care of their 5 adorable children. Fortunately, he was supported by his family in the Kansas community who were touched by his situation. Joey said, "Every week is getting better. I've had so much support from my family and the community. I'm just so happy that we could get the help he needed." But that wasn't all. A family friend, Hillary Thompson, who admitted that the death of the Garfield Elementary School secretary was very painful, did something beautiful. Guess what? She started a GoFundMe page for them, and over 20 people donated this, helped in raising a lot of funds for the family. Other valuable things like clothing and baby food were also donated. Can you believe such generosity? Joey was very grateful for the unbelievable support he received because he knew he couldn't do it on his own. It is such a relief to know that he was not alone. The unwavering support he got from his parents was massive. Even though that moment was bittersweet for them, they made sure they traveled down to his home in Kansas every day just to take care of his children. The father of 5 kept the moments of his lovely wife alive. In 2008, he and Cassie built their dream house, which was purchased at an auction. His wife was a gifted artist, so she designed the curtains and made a lot of artwork on the walls of the house. She also had lots of her pictures hanging around it. After her death, he decided not to change anything. Even though he could no longer be with her physically, he could still feel her presence around the house. He also disclosed that her clothes were still hanging in the closet they both made use of. "I haven't been able to get rid of her things, it's just too hard," he said. It wasn't just him who missed his wife so dearly. His children did too, and sometimes they expressed how much they wished she was with them. On a particular day in 2016, 2-year-old Tinley said, "I miss Mom." When the little girl was born, Cassie told her husband something that he could never forget. She told him that if something ever happens to her, he should just make sure her children know that she loves them so much. Can you believe that? Joey revealed that was something he would make sure he tells his children every day. The American dad who had to take care of the triplets along with his 2 older daughters admitted that taking care of the 3 babies had not been easy. According to him, spending time with them brings back memories of his wife, and he sometimes wishes she was there with him to assist him in taking care of them. However, even if that wouldn't be possible, he planned on raising his children on the farm his wife cherished for him. His wife meant the whole world to him, and he hoped that one day he could tell his triplets about their lovely mom. He said, "I'll tell them what she did for them, and their mom is the best mother in the world. They'll know about all her achievements and how creative she was. I'll tell them that she got to hold them and that she wishes she was there." What do you think about Cassie's touching story? Share it with me in the comments, and see you next time.